Good morning. You are in the ring with Christine, and I have some queens on my show today. But first, I want to do a special shout out to my little brother, Fight Mike Fight. He is right now undergoing chemo, and so we're just sending him prayers, well wishes, and hugs. If you don't follow him on Instagram, please do. He focuses on mostly women boxers, women in boxing, which I love. So please be sure and check him out. But I wanted to introduce my special guest. I have a special guest host, Esmeralda Ferraro, and we are going to be talking to Andrea Medina. She is definitely the boss. That is her boxing name, and she is definitely the boss. So how are you ladies doing today?
Good, good.
Good, good.
Just ready for this little chat we're gonna have.
Yeah, definitely. So Andrea, we just got back from camp. Tell everybody how camp was
You
and the
know,
competition and what you did.
yeah. So the camp was we had to adapt to a lot of things.
Absolutely.
Things were changing every day. We were supposed to go to Germany, then we had to go to Spain, and I feel like every day was something new. We had to just really be adaptable to this whole COVID situation. And but other than that, camp was great. I mean, I felt by the end of camp when we left from Colorado, I felt ready to go, and um, I'm very content with my performances in both Spain and France.
Why is that?
2 gold medals, but I mean, there's
Two
always
gold
stuff
medals.
stuff stuff to work on, and but I definitely proved myself. That I feel like these tournaments were to prove to myself
Absolutely.
that I can do it. So
You
Well, and
did great.
she
thank
didn't
you.
she and
Yeah,
Esmeralda, you were watching when she was in Paris.
I
Yeah,
watched
so
all of them, and I had my alarm set. Me and my husband would come out because I'd be like, "Oh, Andrea's fighting." He's like, "Who?" I'm like, "The boss." He's like, "Oh, the boss."
The boss.
the boss, you know the
Yeah.
boss.
Yeah, I'm
No,
like
that's
Andrea. He's like,
awesome.
"No, the boss." I'm like, "Yes, the boss is fighting." But no, they were some good fights. You know, I think the
Thank you.
seconds were off on a few. Like you had like 8 seconds, and I think you still could have, you really could have like thrown more punches at her. But then
Yeah,
they
yeah,
stopped the fight, and I was like,
yeah,
"What?"
She
But
well,
it was
she could have thrown more punches, but the other girl couldn't take it.
true.
So Tyler
But
Jones
I
says,
still wanted to
"Wow,
see that.
congratulations!" Yeah, that's true. And you know the thing that you're talking about. And yes, there were so many hurdles that we had to jump
Hmm.
during these camps and during these competition times. So, how important do you think that it is for your mental game to be strong?
very important because I know at times, not just myself but the team too. We just were frustrated with how everything was changing, how especially the COVID test. a lot of
Oh my
a
God!
lot
What
of
do we
people
have?
were
Like
just
nine? I think we had nine
yeah,
tests in all.
yeah.
Through the
It was
nose.
yeah. It was
Nose,
well. We had
throat.
yeah. It
Yeah,
was pretty bad, but
both nostrils
yeah,
in yeah, in Spain.
yeah, it was pretty bad. But I mean, just to stay strong and focus on what the goal is, because I know definitely I was getting frustrated with a lot of things, but um, you just
You
have to,
powered through.
yeah.
And so for people that don't know what the goal is, so Andrea is on Team USA. She's amazing. And so you said
Thank
to
you.
stay focused on the goal. What is the long-term goal?
Olympic gold medal. That is the long term goal. That's been my goal since I started
Absolutely.
competing.
Absolutely. It definitely is. And Willie Cano, Loco Ortiz, he said congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, so it's great. You have fans everywhere, and you're doing amazing. So Esmeralda, when did Andrea first get your attention?
It's been for a while. I kept hearing the name, but I have a horrible memory, so it was always either just I remembered Andrea or I just remembered like, the boss, but it never really clicked. And then I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I know who that is. But it was mainly because I mean, I grew up in San Diego, so that's what we have in common. And one of the things we have in common, and I was like, oh shit, like she's representing for San Diego, she's representing for like all the women, pretty much all the women basically. And I was like, oh, and then I started watching some of her stuff and reading into her, you know, this like what I see online, and it was just I heard from Coach Vargas, Joe Vargas. Like, there's been a lot of people that are like, oh man, Andrea, she's bad. And that's when I was like, nice. It made me happy to hear that, one, it's a female, and two, she's from San Diego, and she has this goal that she's gonna get to. And I was like, hell yeah, like, I'm fully supportive of that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's not very often that you can get look at a young woman who is doing such things in boxing. Like, really, she is absolutely amazing, everything she does. And it's like anything that she's told, she totally works on. She's so coachable, which is so important.
Thank you.
So Hasiel said, how did it feel getting a KO at the Olympic trials?
Oh, that was very surprising, actually. That was my first like actual KO, like dropping someone. So that was very exciting. But I don't know. I felt like I really felt it in my hand, like, and then like she just wasn't in front of me anymore, and I was like, what the? So that's why I just stood there. Like,
she was at my feet.
Yeah, if you seen in the video that I had posted, I was just like, and then I just stopped. And then like I was waiting for that for 2 seconds, and I went back to the neutral corner. But yeah.
So were you kind of in shock?
Yeah, definitely. Because I looked at my dad and I was like, and I just went to the neutral corner.
Speaking of your dad, so your dad is your main coach, is that right?
Yeah.
So tell us about that relationship when you started boxing and how it's been having your dad as your coach.
Oh, it's amazing. He used to be a boxer, but he was gonna go pro, but he had gotten in a car accident or something, and so he couldn't do that anymore. But I when I was 5, my parents wanted to put me in karate, but there was a boxing gym next door, so that caught my eye. Then he like was like, "Are you sure you want to do it?" Like, he was just like make sure I wanted to do it, and I did. So after I got hit the first time I was sparring a boy, like, it was just over after that. I fell in love with it. And,
yes. That's
yeah,
so good. Because so many people say the opposite. They're like, man, the first time I got hit really good, I was done.
No, I fell in love with it. And my mom was scared that I was going to start crying, but I got hit and my head went all the way back. And I just charged at the guy or the boy.
Wow.
And then she was like, oh my God. And she was like, no, like, I didn't want her to like it.
I want her to get hit and then quit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, but yeah. No, me and my dad have an awesome relationship. I mean, he's been there through everything, and he's sacrificed so much for me. And I really we have a really strong bond. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about your mom? Is she?
My
I
mom?
know when my mom used to go watch me fight, and the girl's nose would bleed, she would be like, "Why did you do that?" And I'd be like, "It's either me or her. Like, pick one."
Right.
I always remember
mom...
she'd be freaked out, and I'm like, "Make up your mind."
Yeah.
You don't want it to be me.
Yeah, my mom's like #1 fan, like supportive of everything. She's been there too. Like, it's my mom and my dad always. They made so much sacrifices for me to be in the sport. So.
And I see that, like, most of the time when she's on the phone, it's her mom or her dad.
Yeah.
And I love that because just personally in my own gym, there's some parents that I never meet or never see. Some of the kids have to sneak there, or some of the kids, their parents don't even know, and they go to tournaments and there's nobody there to cheer them on. So anytime I see that, I just really appreciate it and love it, because your parents have done an amazing job raising you.
Thank you.
Esmeralda, I'm not just saying this, but this girl is such a good girl. I mean, not only in the ring, but outside of the ring. She's so respectable. She doesn't walk around like she's the shit, which she could. She doesn't walk around like I'm better than anybody. She's always wanting to learn more. She's always wanting to do more. And like I said, she's so coachable. So her parents did an absolute great job. Salute to them for sure.
No, it shows that, because on Instagram, when I had posted yesterday, a lot of the amateur kids that follow me, or some that run the page with their parents, were like, "Oh my gosh, she's bad! Like, I love her, and like, we've seen her and we see so much about her." But you're always very, when you do your stories, like, ask me questions, and you respond to all the amateurs and the people who want to begin boxing. Like, you really put it out there, and it's such a good vibe, because you give your support and you give them, like, feedback and you inspire them, you motivate them. But it shows in everything that you do, especially on social media. It shows who you are. So yeah, they've done a great job.
Thank you, thank you.
And people really appreciate that because I believe that anytime you're in the spotlight, this is my opinion, and maybe some people don't agree, and that's okay. But I believe that you should really stay humble. You should receive your fans, because really, ultimately, without your fans, you're not going to do as well.
Right.
And there's somebody out there, some little girl, some little boy that wants to do what you're doing, and so to be able to take time to like give them some tips or answer their questions, I think is amazing, because there are
Mm-hmm.
some that don't do that. They
Right.
don't want to be bothered, and I've seen that side of it too.
Mm-hmm.
And so for any young boxer out there, tell them what you had to do to get where you're at, and the dedication and the hours and
The
everything.
discipline.
The discipline,
Since
yes.
I started being right at 8. I got my little passbook at 8, and just going to silver gloves, to different tournaments, to the Junior Olympics, and that was all part of getting to where I'm at now. And I just, thinking back, like I never thought I would be here. Honestly, like this was
Wow.
my goal, but like being here when they called me to say that I was on the big qualification team, it was crazy. Like I I teared up a little bit. My dad started crying. My mom started crying. It was just like
I
but
was so happy.
yeah.
Great moment.
So yeah. I mean, everything that I've done for boxing to this moment really, really did pay off. I mean, from the not eating the pizza to the to
That's part
The
of
hot
it.
allowing the
Cheetos.
blood. I swear, blood, sweat, and tears, literally. Blood,
A-
sweat, and tears, literally.
Absolutely. I mean, wouldn't you agree it's definitely a full-time job? I mean, for people that
Definitely.
work 40 hours a week, I mean, you probably put in more. Like
Yeah. You
what is
have to
your what
put
does your day look like?
Yeah, you have to put your all into the sport, or it will not uh like put back to you. You know what I mean? And I did put my all into the sport, so it's really paying off now. And my day in the the boxing, I mean, with Team USA, it's a little bit different than when I train here at home with my dad. But I mean, we still work hard either way. With Team USA, we usually have 2 workouts. So we would do like either strength conditioning in the morning, then boxing later, or vice versa. So, yeah, always good training. And last camp, actually, when we were lifting weights, I had deadlifted my highest. So I was like super
Oh,
excited
what
because I
was
know
it?
that
I think you were
Jose.
beating some of the guys. Sorry, guys,
No,
but
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. But
so
no,
what was it? What was your max?
I honestly, I forgot. Jose knows all the numbers, but I
Yeah.
know that he said that was the highest I've hit, and I like did like 10 reps of it. So I
Oh
was
my gosh.
super
That's
excited.
fabulous. And a lot of people don't realize the sacrifice, because yes, there are hours that you put in the gym at home, with your dad, and also in Colorado, but just leaving your family, your friends,
Yeah,
your dogs,
yeah. It
for
honestly
days and
that is
months.
the hardest part for me, because I'm a family person and I love being home. I love being around my family, friends, but so that was probably the hardest. I was so homesick, but I
Yeah,
mean, you got to do what you got to do, you know. That Yeah.
absolutely.
And you go to school also?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I'm enrolled in SDSU, full-time student for online classes right now.
And she's so committed. I mean, she's like, I got to do my homework.
Yeah.
I have a paper turned in. And I'm just like, girl, you are like a parent's dream. So, Andrea, so JD Boxing says, what best helps you to relax before a fight?
um, I have trust in my training, so I really just think I train hard. I'm ready, and I just have to do what I train to do. And I used to get nervous, but I don't really get that nervous anymore, honestly. I mean, of course, you're a little anxious and stuff like that,
Sure.
but nervous, no. I have trust in my training.
Is there any music that you like listen to on your
Oh,
headphones beforehand?
definitely,
What is
definitely.
it?
The team knows it's Drake.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
Drake.
And that hypes you up, or does it just
Mm-hmm.
like calm you?
No, it depends on what song's playing. It depends on what song's playing. But the Coach Jose, our strength and conditioning coach, he always plays Drake for me when I'm warming up and stuff.
He's so good. He knows what every athlete wants to listen to
Right.
before they get started. He's awesome. He does such a great job, and it helps so much. And then before, when we were in quarantine in our little bubble, we had our little pods where we were training, and that's what's playing. That was what was playing,
Mm-hmm.
and we all
Yeah.
know what
Yeah.
everybody wants to listen to, and
Yeah.
it really helps. Like
But
whatever
of course,
works.
I have to put some reggaeton in there too,
Yes,
because
absolutely.
that gets me hyped, and then I just want to start dancing. So.
And she can dance, Esmeralda. She can. I think she's even taught some of the girls on the team to
I
dance. Am I
have,
lying?
Really?
I have. I was teaching them. I was teaching them bachata and cumbia.
Oh wow.
Oh,
I have no
and
dancing
salsa,
rhythm.
Salsa.
and salsa.
I have
My
nothing but
parents dance really good salsa. They taught me
My husband can too, but all I can do is back that thing up. So we don't it
how.
doesn't really go together,
Oh my
And he's like, just learn. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
gosh.
No, but that so we and then yes, we have all this blood, sweat, tears. We work really hard. You work at home, really hard. In camp, like you said, we dealt with a lot of adversity.
Mhm.
It was tough at times, but what about the fun? What kind of fun do we have? What kind of fun do you have at home, and what kind of fun do we have in camp?
In camp, we sometimes have like team activity to go to the movie and stuff, but um there wasn't really much of that because of COVID.
Yeah.
But in Spain, we did go to the beach a lot. Like everybody went into the beach for like a ice bath that I couldn't get in there. I was too scared.
Oh, I
I'm
loved
scared
it.
of the ocean, so I couldn't get in. But a lot of people got
Yeah,
in
you
there,
yeah.
and
live in
that
San
was pretty fun.
Diego.
I'm scared of the water. You don't know what's in there. You know?
I can't go at night. I'm even in the swimming pool. I'm terrified at nighttime. I know it's a
Jaws
swimming
might be
pool, but
there.
I can't see it. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You
And
could have
then
just sat at the edge, Andrea.
I know I put my feet in,
That's good. That's good.
What about the
I put
food?
my
I saw
feet
you
in.
post so much food and
The
lattes or
food
what
from the
frappuccinos. I don't know what they were.
in Spain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there was
How was
like
the
this.
food?
My favorite was like this little like pie thing that they made with like potatoes and
For
egg.
breakfast.
Yeah, that was really good. And all they have is pan, bread.
Oh
A
my
lot of
That's
gosh.
all.
yeah.
And I was thinking like, oh, Spain like tortillas. They didn't have none of that. They just had pan. They just had bread everywhere, bread.
I had
That's
to
all
stay
I
away
had.
from that bread. Woo!
Right. Chocolate croissants and donuts and just bread and stuff. But it was good. I liked Spain food. I didn't like the France food that much.
No.
No. But there was like some things, but I like Spain.
Spain better.
Yeah.
So what you were about to say, there was some more fun that you have in camp too. So let us know. So, people won't think, oh my gosh, they're just like slave drivers. No, we're not. There's some fun too.
No, we're not. I mean, like the whole team is like a family, so we just like laugh we're laughing all the time. We're laughing all the time. We're joking around all the time. It's not
Absolutely.
just serious all the time. And when we need to be serious, we're serious. But yeah. So
That's so true. So, do you have like any words of advice for a little girl that's like, man, you know what? I want to be a boxer too, like her, but I'm afraid. I don't want people to make fun of me. A lot of people say, man, that's a boys' sport. Girls have no business in boxing. What do you say to those girls?
no, I would say just believe in yourself. Do what you want to do. Don't let nobody tell you what you can or cannot do. You should do whatever you want to do, and just if you want to box and you think it's a boy sport, no, look at all these women coming up now. You know what I mean? Like this is about to be a women's sport. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So
absolutely.
I would just say go work hard and try it out first. If you want to try boxing, try it out first. It's not for everybody.
Right.
it's definitely not for everybody. You definitely got to stay dedicated, and you definitely have to like getting hit, because I mean, you're gonna
It's
get hit,
going to happen.
right?
Okay, so we have another question. ¿Cuándo regresas a pelea, Andrea? Excuse my Spanish. I'm horrible. I'm sorry. So when are you gonna go back to fighting, Andrea?
So they said the end of January we'll be going back to Bulgaria. So
Oh, wow.
to the Stranger tournament.
I like Bulgaria.
Yeah. So that'd probably be the next time be back in the ring, which is exciting.
Most definitely. So Esmeralda, you were a boxer also, but this was like even earlier in the time. I mean, what were people saying about you? What was your family saying? I mean, what were they thinking? Oh my God, this beautiful girl wants to box. What's really going on?
They were like, "Oh, she's got anger issues," but I didn't. I just love the sport, and I grew up watching like Chavez and Madomedo fights and all these fighters on TV. And then, this was like 99, early 2000s. Jackie Nava was barely starting to be, pro in fighting, and Ana Maria Torres. There were two females in Mexico that were like making some noise. And being from San Diego, it was tough for me. That's why I have so much respect for Andrea, and I admire her. And she inspires me, because if I had what she has now back then, I would have gone further. But I'm on a different route, and I think definitely it's a nice time to be able to see changes of women in the sport from back then to now. We have women commentators in some places, reporters, like journalists, and I'm like, hell
Yes.
yeah, like more women need to know the sport, and more women need to support the women in the sport, so that we can, make a bigger difference. And
Absolutely. And so many more women do know the sport. That's the
yeah.
thing. It's like before, like I started back in 2000. And if you said anything, you don't know anything. You're a woman. You don't know
Mm-hmm.
this. You don't know that. And but we have to have the confidence to say, yeah, we do. We live this. But I wanted to ask you. So you said that you're in the sport now. Tell everybody what you're doing in the sport. Like what are you doing to help women and men in boxing?
So when I was fighting, I swear my mom has not one picture of me to show anything for, whether it was a fight or competition or in the gym. There's like no pictures of me. And I'm like, damn, I wish I at least had that to show now. So what I
Yeah.
like to do is I'm a photographer right now, and I focus on a lot of the amateurs here in Tijuana, because they don't get a lot of the support, and they see people like Jaime and all the pros from here getting that. And there's some great amateur fighters, and they're not getting that attention. So I like to photograph everyone that has a talent and that can eventually get there, to be part of their story. So that's what I like to
Wow.
do. I like to capture those moments in the gym, sparring, or in the fight that I knew meant a lot to me, because I lived those moments, and I like to capture them so that they have the actual memory to like frame, or
Right.
show it to somebody else later on. But
That's
it's
beautiful.
Yeah.
And so you and Andrea have a photo shoot coming up. Is that right?
We
Y'all gonna do
do.
some?
we
That's
do,
right.
yes.
Okay, tell us about that. What's it gonna look like?
It's up
I
to
mean,
Andrea.
no, I asked her, can I bring like different outfits? Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It's
I'm excited.
motivating.
I'm excited. Yeah.
That's very exciting because it's motivating to both of you to be able to do what you want and showcase it. But then also it's motivating to the fans for both of you because they get to see the work.
Yeah, and we'll be like promoting each other.
I love that. And see, that's what it is. And Esmeralda knows when we first met, she was about that, I was about that. That's why we clicked like so quick
Yeah.
because we have to lift each other up. We have to
Right.
fix each other's crowns.
Mhm.
There's only a few of us. There is more than there was, but there's only a few of us that are really living this, and we have to support each other. There's enough room for everybody at the table.
Right.
So I'm totally about that, and I know y'all are totally about that, and I so appreciate that y'all are of the same mindset.
One thing is, I don't know if you've seen my pictures. I photographed two little girls, amateurs, Nadia La Panterita and BC Rachel, in a tournament here in Tijuana. And one thing I hadn't realized that my photography was doing was inspiring others. And they said, like, we've seen you take pictures of so and so, we've seen you do this, and now you're here photographing me at my fight.
Aw.
And one of the biggest reasons to photograph Andrea was because she inspires a lot of them, and I want them to see, I've shot them, now I'm shooting Andrea, and it makes them that much more motivated and inspired. And I was like, so thanks, Chrissy, for saying that, because I was just gonna be like, hey, let me take pictures of you.
No,
And you
absolutely.
connected us, and I
That
was like,
gives me
awesome,
chills.
because
That gives
no,
me
I'm
chills
glad. I'm
because
glad
that's
because I
beautiful.
I didn't see it like that. And then when they told me, like, oh my God, I've seen you take pictures of so and so, and I'm like, oh really? Like, okay, but I didn't know that was much of an impact, especially when they're that young. And I'm like, hell yeah, like I'll shoot Andrea, and they'll see that, and it makes them more motivated to hopefully have those goals that she does, or get to where she has.
Yeah, one thing we have to realize is no matter what facet of boxing we're in, there's always eyes on us, you know, and there's somebody always watching and
Hmm.
wanting and wishing, and we just have to like be approachable and leave the door open, so we don't deter anybody from doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
Andrea, Christian said, what fight would you like to see in the lightweight division?
Okay, I'm gonna need a little help because we go by like 57 kilos.
Oh, I know. It's so
Here
funny.
too,
So
yeah.
the weights changed, and I was like calling the old weights, and they're like, "Okay, you're used to kilos." And I'm like, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, you're right."
Yeah, I'm used to
So
kilos, pounds. I had to
yeah,
get used to kilos because I was used to
yes,
pounds, and I was like, whoa.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. It took me a while, but I finally
Yeah,
kind of got
yeah.
it.
I think
So
I got it
okay,
now.
so let's just talk about women in general. Who are some of your favorites, and who would you like to see against too?
Well, I look up to Michaela Mayer a lot because
Absolutely,
she's doing what I mean. She did what I want to do, so I
yes.
look up to her a lot. I think she's a great, great boxer, and I want to get to where she's at now, and I want to
And she always
definitely
looks
after
good
this.
doing it.
I
Right,
know,
She looks
right?
right,
amazing.
all the time, all the time. She looks
Yeah.
great. But I also want to see, um, Katie Taylor's fighting, soon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I want to see her fight
Mhm.
too. But I think that the Serrano sisters,
Oh
I
yeah,
really
Yeah.
like. I
they're
really
both
like them.
good.
Yeah, they're both really good. So
Very
I mean,
talented.
women boxing is getting bigger and bigger, but I really, really, really look up to Michaela Mayer. So I would love to see her fight Terry Harper or
Yes.
uh
Yeah.
yeah, one of who Terry Harper's supposed to fight. So I think she said on her story the other day that she wanted to fight the winner of that fight. So
No, I think that'd be fabulous. And
right.
speaking of Katie Taylor, so Coach Mark is one of the coaches on USA Boxing, and he sent me a video because she was just at his gym sparring, and I was like, Mark, this is bad. Oh my
Right, that's
gosh,
crazy.
yes, I love it. It was pretty good. One of his people, one of his boxers. It was really nice.
That's great.
And so we have a camp coming up in California, Buena Vista. Is that right? Is it Buena Vista, Andrea?
Oh no, it's Chula
Chula,
Vista.
Chula Vista. I'm
Chula Vista,
sorry,
Chula Vista.
Chula
Yeah,
Vista. So is
yeah,
that close to you?
yeah. I live in Chula Vista.
So is it going to be at your air? Is it your gym or like because I'm unfortunately not going because we have nationals in Louisiana.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
and so we were at first going to have a training camp in Louisiana. So we were going to be able to have the training camp, and then also people that had kids and nationals could do
Yeah.
both. And I had already promised my guys right now that I was going to go, so I couldn't like break my word. So is that your gym that Team USA will be training at, or do you
No,
know?
no. There's an Olympic training center here, in Chula
Okay,
Vista.
Oh,
I
okay.
So
didn't know that.
yeah, so it's like 10 minutes away from the house.
Oh my
So
gosh, so you're gonna be at home.
yeah,
You're gonna be
definitely.
in your element,
Yeah,
so that's okay
yeah. So
because
yeah,
then
it's like 10 minutes away. It's not my gym, but
yeah,
they were thinking about like, cause the Olympic Training Center here is more like for outdoor sports, like
okay,
stuff like that. So I guess Billy was saying something about putting up these huge tents to put the rings in and stuff like
okay. So Billy's our head coach of Team USA, and he is a smart man. I have so much
that.
respect for him, and he's
Funny man,
funny.
a
Oh my
funny man.
gosh, he's funny. He's so funny. So question: Thanksgiving's coming up. What's gonna be on your plate?
Oh wow. Everything. Everything. My favorite is like the mashed potatoes and the stuffing, and I like the dark part of the turkey.
Oh yeah, it's juicier,
It's
tastier.
juicier, yeah. So
And
that's
you're able to do that when you maintain your weight and work hard, right? Because
right.
not everybody's going to be having that on their plate.
Right. Yeah, no. I've been
What was the
maintaining.
what was the first thing you ate when you came back home? Like, what were you craving, or
Pizza,
what did you just eat?
pizza
Pizza.
and wings was waiting for me right here on the table.
Mm.
Pizza and wings, and then I had
What were
ice
the
cream.
wings
Those are
from?
my. Oh, there's just these wings that my grandma
Oh,
buys from Costco, and they're really good. They're like spicy chipotle or something.
Oh, shout out
Yeah,
to Costco. Those sound
right. There's
good.
something like that. Yeah. So they just made them in the oven, but the pizza was from Papa John's.
That
But I
sounds
like
so
any
good.
great pizza.
pizza from anywhere I eat. Like that's my favorite food, pizza.
Bread, cheese, and tomato sauce. Yeah, no,
Right.
that sounds good. That sounds really good. So, Esmeralda, do you have any last words, questions, shout outs to anybody?
You know what? Put me right on the spot. um, I just want to say for all the ones that for my photography, I like. There's so many fans. I just like people to tell me what they like to see, whether it's the action shots, whether it's the candid shots, because I really want to cater to the aspect to the fans where that they don't get to see much, whether it's in the train, it's in the gym training, sparring. I've been doing a little bit of live sparring of the guys at the gym, but it's and I do get people get on there. I mean, it's just they're going hard at it, so it's nice to see it. But
That's
for
nice.
shout outs, a lot of people on Twitter, JD Boxing. There's
Yeah, he had
also
another question. So when you're done, I'm gonna ask the question that he just asked.
yeah. So shout out to JD Boxing, always on Twitter and
Yes, thank
Instagram.
you.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, we appreciate the support for sure. And he asked
Definitely.
Andrea, so in preparing for a fight, do you enjoy the sparring more or the exercises?
I enjoy sparring more just because that's the closest you're gonna get to competition. So
Yeah,
I enjoy it
absolutely.
more because you get to learn more from that.
And
You
sometimes
learn
those exercises, woo.
right. You learn. Yeah, definitely. Especially the Versa climb. You know, it's like
Oh my God, I just had that in my head. I was like, that
right.
Versa climber.
The Versa climb is the hardest thing ever because you're like thinking you're doing so good, and then all of a sudden you're like
Yeah.
downhill, and then when you get off, your legs are burning.
Yes. And for those who don't know what that is, it's you got to Google it. The coaches and I
You
sometimes
gotta
have a
Google it.
competition, like to see who could like be on the Versa climber longer. And if we make it for a minute, like we're champions. In 1 minute, and that's killing you. So these athletes go and go and go and do drills. It's unbelievable the shape that they're in and the things that they do. Absolutely. So, Andrea, do you have any shout outs or anything that you want to leave with people before we close up?
Just a shout out to all of my fans and everybody who's watching this right now. Thank you for being on here, and shout out to Esmeralda for um keeping in touch, and I'm excited for our little photo shoot that we're gonna have.
Yes.
And shout out to Coach Christine for having
Thank
me on this.
you. Absolutely. Most
Appreciate you
definitely. And
guys.
tell everybody, Esmeralda, and then Andrea, where they can follow you. What are your social media handles?
Me?
On Twitter.
Oh,
Oh,
Esmeralda.
on
No, go ahead, go
Twitter,
ahead.
I'm like, on Twitter, I'm Reina del Ring, Fotógrafa de la Gente, or as at Esme Ferraro, and on Instagram, I'm Fotógrafa de la Gente. And for those of you who don't know, Fotógrafa de la Gente translates to the people's photographer. Like the people's champ, I'm the people's
Mhm.
photographer.
Okay.
Andrea, where can they find you
Uh,
and
my
support
uh,
you?
my Instagram is Andrea the Boss Medina, so very just my name. And I'm mainly on Instagram, so trying to get that blue check.
We're working on it. We're going to get that
I
blue
know,
check
we
for
try.
you. Wow, I'm telling you, we're working on it. So
Mhm.
Tyler said, great show, ladies. JD Boxing said, great show. Looking forward to seeing her
Thank you.
progress. Yes. No, and I just want to thank y'all so much. Um, please, everybody, share, like this video. It's very inspirational. It's women in boxing, just women in life doing what they love. I mean, we live this. We do
Right.
this. So for all the little girls out there and the young men out there that, want to get into something, but they don't think they can do it. Hey, if we can do what we do, anybody can do it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So I appreciate both of y'all's time so much. And y'all
No,
have a
thank
great
you.
day. And I'm glad
you.
it's not 6 o'clock in the morning for you and 8 for me. Like I confused it. Ugh. But anyway, so y'all have a wonderful day. And I thank y'all so much.
You
And I'll
too.
see you soon,
Thank you.
Andrea. Okay,
Okay.
take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.